What's up, guys? Welcome to Keto Rewind. I'm Jess, and today's video is going to be a great guide to get you started on your own weight loss journey. I'm 95 pounds into my weight loss journey. I have a total of 140 pounds that I would like to lose. So if you like this video and want to see more videos like this and you're not currently a subscriber, please consider hitting that subscribe button and being a part of this community of support. So this video is basically going to give you my tips and my recommendations to get your own keto journey started. A few of these things I wish I would have known before I started, so I'm passing them along to you. So I'm going to divide it up into 3 sections. The first one being you need these things to get results with your weight loss. The second one will be you don't need them, but they're useful or handy to have. And the third part will be what you need in your pantry and fridge to get going. And if any of these products you can't find locally, I will link below. So let's have fun and let's get started on your weight loss journey. Okay, so these are the things I feel you need to get started on your weight loss journey. Now, you lose weight differently with keto. So my first thing is a soft tape measure. And that's because you will lose differently on a ketogenic diet than you do on a standard, regular, all the other diets that are out there. You will lose inches without seeing it show up on the scale. So if that can discourage you, I strongly urge you to take measurements. I only focused on my problem areas, so I took a high waist measurement, a belly button measurement, and a hip measurement. And that's the only 3 ones that I wanted to track. And I just made a quick little spreadsheet, or a log that shows my progress. And that visual helps in the weeks that I'm not seeing it show up on the scale. And this literally you can get at Walmart, you can get anywhere. I'll drop a link in Amazon. But I'm pretty sure you can find you probably have one, a soft tape measure. And it's so important to take those measurements. And I wish I would have been more focused on the measurements when I started. I am now, but I didn't know this when I began my journey. So that's the first thing. Second thing is pretty self-explanatory, a smartphone or a camera. And this is to take before pictures. Yes, as much as you don't want to show anybody a before picture of what you look like, and if you've seen my channel, you see all of my before pictures. They are not flattering, and I share them with the world, but you don't have to share them with anybody but yourself. But to see yourself shrink, you're going to want to look back at your progress to show. On one of those days that maybe I have days where I still feel fat, or my head's just clouding my judgment with all my hard work. So I sometimes look back at my before picture and say, that's how far I've come. Today's just a bad day, but look at how strong and how far I've come. So I strongly urge you to use your camera's smartphone and take a picture. And I use 3 different, a front shot, side shot, and a back shot. And a couple selfies before of my chin. So you will have those photos and you won't regret it when you get to, far along in your journey. You won't regret taking those photos. You may regret right this minute at your worst, regret it, like not wanting to take the photos, but just know that you don't have to show anybody those pictures, but you'll have them if you want them 50 pounds, 100 pounds down your journey. So, and then the second part, and you can use a regular camera too, whatever, but I'm just saying everybody seems to have a cell phone these days, so use that one, it's the easiest. And then the other reason why you want a smartphone is a food diary. I absolutely could not lose this weight if I did not use Carb Manager or MyFitnessPal. Those are the 2 apps that I recommend. You can get free versions. I'm going to put a couple screenshots here, but I literally track everything that goes into my mouth. And that is part of the journey that you absolutely have to learn. And you've got to make that something that if you don't, or if it's overwhelming, you've got to just get in there and start learning how to use it. If you don't know how much to eat, how will you know how much to eat if you're not tracking your food? This will teach you the proper portion sizes. It'll make you aware of everything that goes into your mouth. And it was absolutely one of the most important things that I learned and gave myself that skill by learning how to use these two programs. So MyFitnessPal and Carb Manager. You can also use them on a computer. I will make a whole separate video, a new and updated one about how to use Carb Manager. So I will post that link when I make that. That's probably tomorrow's video. But how to use those food diaries. And then that leads me to my last thing that you absolutely need, and that is a food scale. This is my favorite one. I've had this one for like 4 years. You know, I've been a past yo-yo dieter, so I've been doing this a lot. But the one thing that made a difference this time is I actually stuck with it. So food scale, you can get any type of food scale, but the reason I like this one is simply, I'll give you a quick show. So say you are measuring something that's big, and you see how small my scale is. The screen pulls out on this scale. So I can easily put something big and still be able to read what it says. So I know this one costs more than the normal, they have very inexpensive food scales. It doesn't matter which one you have, if you want a fancier one like I've picked, or if you want a more inexpensive, affordable one, it doesn't matter. Just get a food scale. That's what you need, just a food scale. So I will link this one below. It's my absolute favorite, and it's something that, you know, I'm gonna die with. Like, this thing has changed my life, and I beg you to get a food scale so that you can log your macros in your food diary. So those are the things you need to get started. Absolutely need. My next segment is going to be, you don't need any of this, but these things are useful. So I'll start off with the most obvious right here, and that's a bathroom scale. I have two here. This one is the Tech City. It has like this one tells you, within reason. You got to take these results with a grain of salt, but they're a good baseline measurement on body fat, and a bunch of other measurements, that water weight, stuff like that, and that's what the little 4 things do. If you have any type of a pacemaker or any type of electric device implanted in you, no, this one you can't do, but I like to just watch my numbers. I'm a numbers girl, so I use this one, but in all of my weigh-in photos, I use this one. This is my #1 favorite scale, and this one is the Eat Smart scale, and you can see how low profile it is. It slides right under the vanity. You don't even know it's in your kitchen. It's not a big bulky scale, and it's nice and flat, and I love it. So that, I will link these 2 scales below. Now please understand that your journey isn't about the scale. That's why I put this in the useful category. You can do this entire journey without even stepping on a scale and just using a measuring tape. A before picture. You don't need the scale, and don't make your journey about the number on the scale. You are worth so much more than that. Don't let yourself be defined by it. Yes, it's great to see progress, but I only weigh in once a week, and if I didn't weigh in once a week because of this channel, I would do monthly weigh-ins. I would not focus my journey and stress myself out about a scale. So I weigh weekly because I do weekly weigh-ins here on this channel. But if, like I said, I would not do that. I would take the pressure and the power from the scale and only weigh in once a month. So, and then here's my next one. I like to track things. I am a numbers girl. This is a great way to also learn about macronutrients, and that's the Keto Mojo. I like to track my ketones and my glucose to see what foods impact me, because not all sweeteners impact everybody the same way. Not all foods respond different. Everybody responds differently. So you can learn a lot about tracking your own ketones and blood glucose And I have a whole video on this, but I love this and I love to watch the numbers and to be empowered by those results. So I'm gonna post a link down below if you wanna grab a Keto Mojo, and I think my coupon code is 15% off. So I'll post that down below, but these are great to learn about food and how it impacts your body. So another way to learn, and I'm a big researcher. I want to learn all this stuff because it just makes your choices going forward smarter, which makes the journey overall sustainable. So my next one you can get anywhere. It's pink Himalayan sea salt. This is the main salt that I use. I love pink Himalayan sea salt. I buy it in bulk and I just store it in a mason jar. And this will give me, you can't be afraid of salt on the keto diet because you removed all the processed foods that contained huge amounts of sodium. So you are replacing that with a good naturally found vitamins and minerals and all that stuff in pink salt. No chemical processing is needed. It's naturally in this. So this is a good way to keep your electrolytes up and to keep you feeling your best. So you can get it anywhere. I buy mine in bulk from Sprouts, and then sometimes if I'm in a pinch, I'll get it in bulk at Costco. Okay, and then the next thing, I drink a lot of tea on keto because I do a lot of intermittent fasting. I find myself doing a lot of, like, if somebody would have said this 9 months ago, I would have said you're crazy. I don't drink tea. Now, I drink tea every single day, multiple times a day. So we have, you have the kettle that goes on the stove top, but that takes so long. So I use an electric kettle to heat up my water for my tea. I also found this useful for a million other things I do during the day, but for the most part, for this video, I like to heat up my water using an electric tea kettle. And then for the actual tea that I do, then this is another version. This is cute. My mom will do what do you call this? A pot of tea that's ceramic? Yeah. And then you get a little sweater, and she keeps this on the counter and drinks her pot of tea all day. So that's another cute way if you're into that. But that's what we keep on the counter. There's always a pot of tea going in this house. But I'm so on the go that this is my cup of tea to make my cup of tea. So I like to sip on chai tea. My favorite brand is Steep. You can get it at Sprouts. I'll also link an Amazon link if you guys don't have a Sprouts, but I love to sip on chai. So chai tea, but for actual benefits for losing weight, green tea and matcha are what I sip on when I'm fasting. I do a lot of fasting, and there's a couple different ways. You can get straight up green tea bags, but if you want to switch to matcha, it's way more concentrated. It's, come on over here, Mom. Come over here. How would you describe matcha in compared to green tea? Because I know it's ground up tea leaves, but it's so much more
concentrated.
Concentrated, that's a great way. So this one,
very green.
Very green. You'll need a little bit, but I do this every day, and that helps detox, flush excess water weight. It's known to help improve cardiovascular health, in which with someone with a genetic heart defect, that speaks to me. As well as doing immune system and all kinds of good stuff. So you've got to check out the benefits of green tea and matcha. So this, when I'm fasting, I use the sugar-free, there's nothing but green tea in this. You get it at Sprouts. I'll link an Amazon link below. Or Perfect Keto has a sweetened with stevia version, and this one's so delicious, and it also has MCT oil in it. But I don't do this when I'm fasting. I do this as my treat in the afternoon when my fasting window is open. And then I also recently got fancy formulas, which also includes biotin and I'm gonna probably butcher this, hyaluronic acid. I'm gonna put that word down below, but those two things help boost collagen production in your body, and it's in a matcha green tea form. So I'll explain this one later in another video,
But
when you are on a like a matcha kick like I am, I love to have this on hand, and I drink it in the afternoon. That time that you think that you're hungry, I will have a cup of matcha. And then, like I said, if I'm doing an all-day fast and I don't want any sugar, just green tea, this is the one I would, I don't even know how to say this word, so, I have no idea. Ujidu, whatever, I will post the link down below. And then, since I just spoke about biotin with hair loss, skin, hair, nails, all of that, I either take a supplement with biotin daily, or this one includes the biotin in it, which is collagen, biotin, and green tea, matcha. So that kind of does everything all at once, but you can do it individually, whatever your way to do it is. And then, so my mom makes a couple tea blends with her own knowledge and skill. You can't buy this one yet, but it's basically to help support cardiovascular health. So I urge you to learn a lot about teas and the benefits of what they do to your body, and you can have teas when you're fasting. And then additionally, I like to sip when I'm fasting on sparkling water. Here's bubbly, and this one is Topo Chico. You can find them at Costco in bulk, obviously, but then your local grocery stores will also have them. It's just water, carbonation, and lime flavoring. So you can drink these during your fasting window. According to the herbalist that's next to me, that's hiding off the camera screen, monkey picked oolong is the best tea you can get at the market.
Best green tea.
So mom here wants to talk about another tea while we're on the tea subject.
All right, this one's called monkey picked oolong tea. It is a green tea, and it is the highest quality green tea on the market today. It's very expensive, but you don't use a lot of it. For instance,
can't you reuse it?
You can reuse it. If you used maybe this much, which is about a half of a teaspoon, you make your green tea with it, you brew it, and you can drink this hot or cold. I prefer it cold. And then take these little, because these are little itty bitty individual tea leaves that will obviously bloom in the water. And then you'll have a small, like a tablespoon of leaves. You put those leaves in a Ziploc bag in your freezer. The benefits of this tea, because it's such a high quality tea, is that you can steep this 5 times. So you can take it out like 5 days in a row.
As opposed to this, it's a one and done tea bag.
This is the highest quality green tea on the planet, and it's oolong. It's OOLONG. And they call it monkey picked because the actual leaves, as they're drying, are rolled by hand. And that's why you get, like, that's one tea leaf. Highest quality green tea leaf on the market today.
Alrighty, so, and then lastly, a milk frother is a gadget-wise. This one is great when you're making up any type of collagen drink or tea latte, and this makes it so much easier to get nice bubbly frothy beverages, and I've used this in a bunch of other things in addition to beverages. So this is a great little thing to have. I got this one at IKEA, but I'll pop an Amazon link to a similar one if you're wondering where to get a milk frother. And then last but not least, collagen. I swear by collagen. You do not need collagen to lose weight. But my skin, I get so many comments about my skin after losing 95 pounds, my hair and my nails, and it's because I do collagen every day. And I only do 1 scoop a day, but it absolutely makes all the difference in the world, in my opinion, to joint health. I have a bum shoulder that this really makes it feel like I have no issue at all there. In addition to helping my skin as I'm losing weight, my hair, and my nails. So I prefer the unflavored version, and that's the one I use every single day. But once in a while, I do the flavored ones when I'm making ice creams or coffee or lattes or a bunch of other great recipes. So this one's salted caramel. I also have chocolate. But if you're gonna try collagen, I would do unflavored. It is literally unflavored, and I will put it in either tea, coffee, or my food, and I will get my collagen in every day. So those are the things in my bucket that are useful but not required, because you don't need any fancy products to lose the weight, other than your carb manager or MyFitnessPal food diary, and some way to track your macros. So either a smartphone or a computer, or tablet, something like that. But these things just make it easier. But like I said, you don't need them. So, but if you want to see any of these, they're going to be linked below. So now let's go do a pantry tour, and we'll see easy swaps to make your keto pantry, or your pantry now keto. Okay, so let's go look at what we have in the pantry to make your pantry a keto pantry. So let me zoom in here. Let's start with this shelf. Coconut oil, right there. Self-explanatory. I like to get it at Costco in that big jug. These are just collagen that I have in here. I wanted to point out whey powder. A lot of the keto recipes will have whey isolate and whey protein powder, so I keep a couple of those on hand for recipes. And then these are my electrolytes for workouts. My husband uses this one, but I use the Extend and the Perfect Keto electrolyte pre-workout, post-workout drinks. But my husband's a cyclist and he needs that one. It's another pre-workout electrolyte drink. So moving down, we have, this is my absolutely favorite sweetener. I like to buy these big tins, or I should say containers, from the container store, and I'll buy my ingredients in bulk. So this is a bag from Costco that's $8.99, and it's a 1.75 pound bag for $8.99 of the sweetener. If you can't get Lakanto by you, I'll put a link below. But they have a golden blend, and they also have a powdered blend. And these used 1-for-1 in sugar, like a regular recipe. You just swap the sugar. So I keep it in this little container, and I bought the refill to put in there. But that just, I cut the label off the bag and I just tape it on so I know what it is, but it just makes my organization a little bit better. And then obviously the powdered version, and then I can see how much I have, and like this one was getting low, so I went to Costco and got another one. And then let's see. So, and here's another example. I got this is my coconut flour. My coconut flour was getting low, and this is my favorite brand for coconut flour and psyllium husk. And as you can see, that one is getting low, that coconut flour. So I'm going to refill it, change the label, because I didn't know they made this in a coconut. I knew they had psyllium husk, but I did not know they did coconut. So I like that brand. But I also I use psyllium husk for chaffles, breads, keto chaffles, keto bread, stuff like that. It gives it that sticky, spongy feeling that, a wheat gluten would. I like to keep cacao nibs on hand for that time of the month and recipes. It's basically a great source of vitamins and minerals, as long as that chocolate flavor. Another Costco favorite is the almond flour. You can get a big bag for really inexpensive. I can't remember what it is, but it's pretty inexpensive, and you get a big old bag. So that's my preferred almond flour. And then Sprouts. My Sprouts carries these Lakanto chocolate bars. But I'll also link these below. But these are great for when you just need a little chocolate. And if you can't get and they're sweetened with monk fruit and erythritol. And if you can't find Lakanto, Lily's is another favorite of mine. This one's sweetened with stevia. So I like to keep chocolate bars on hand to make recipes with. And then here's a good one that I have recently found. You can get these at Walmart. That's called Good Fats. And they are a protein. There's the macros. There's, so one, I'm not positive on the macros, so I have to compute that, but they're good for on the go and you need something. They taste really good. So I do like those. I also keep liquid stevia. Well, here's the cacao nibs, by the way. That's what those are. But I like to keep liquid stevia on hand for baking and, coffees and stuff like that. And here's I love these perfect keto nut butters. This one is snickerdoodle. This one is chocolate hazelnut, so it's like a sugar-free like a sugar-free Nutella, essentially, and an almond butter and jelly. So those 3 I put on mug cakes and snacks and stuff like that. And moving down, we already talked about the pink salt, but I also like Swerve for sweeteners. I just don't use them as much because I like the flavor better of like Canto monk fruit and erythritol blend. But the Swerve one is good. If you can only get the Swerve one in your store, that one's just fine. I like to make lots of stuff with cacao powder. Again, another Costco find. And if this time of year you want hot chocolate, Lakanto also makes a hot chocolate. And I'll do a cup of almond milk and I'll put, I think it's 4 tablespoons or something, or 4 teaspoons of this in there. And I've got instant hot cocoa. And then my kids love this better than the quote-unquote real one. I also keep some cacao butter on hand for recipes like brownies and stuff. We'll use this. And chia seeds have recently become a fan of mine. You can use these to thicken, if you're making, something that's a little runny, you can dry it up using chia seeds. And these taste really good. And then sometimes I'll just throw those in like a regular old stir-fry recipe, and that helps absorb the liquid. Okay, so moving on. This you can also find at Sprouts. I'll link it below. This is what I'll put on like chicken. It's really yummy, and it's full of flavor. So I highly recommend you using this as a coating or breading for your chicken or, goods like that. These are kind of weird. But it's like, it's a noodle replacement. I'm not sure what it actually is. Palmini? I don't know. But I recently found those and the verdict is still out on those. And then we have these. I love these apple cider drinks. This is the apple cinnamon one. I'll drink these right before I break my fast. So if I'm stopping my fasting window at noon, I'll begin drinking this at 11:50 or something. And just to ease into my fasting window, or my eating window, I'll use this to break my fast because it is sweetened with stevia, but you're getting so many health benefits with apple cider vinegar. And if you don't have access to that, you can make your own using plain old apple cider vinegar. I also, and that's something I replace most of the vinegar in my recipes with apple cider vinegar because there's so many reasons you should include apple cider vinegar in your diet. Coconut oil spray, MCT oil randomly when I'm feeling like I need it. But lately I've been getting my MCT oil from my Perfect Keto products. So I haven't really been using it here, but you can do that. I basically use avocado oil, which you can get this from Costco or your local grocery store. Costco just has the biggest size for the cheapest price. But I literally roast all my vegetables with avocado oil. I'm making my mayonnaise with avocado, all kinds of recipes. So basically that's my go-to oil for most of my fats. And then I've recently started on the roasted seaweed bandwagon for a source of iodine. The wasabi ones and sesame ones are really good, and it takes some getting used to. They made me gag at first, but this is the best way to get iodine in your diet. So these came from Sprouts. And as you can see, I have more pink salt that I buy in bulk. And then let's move up to nuts. I snack on Brazil nuts. It's my new go-to. So I buy them in bulk. They're roasted and salted. And yeah, so I buy like a big old thing at once, and I'll have a handful or an ounce of them daily. And then these flackers are a great way. If you are having trouble pooping, have these. These are, they're low carb. They're basically just flax seeds with a bunch of other little things, but I will have 2 of these crackers a day. But if you need to get things moving along, the serving size is 8. So, and that's a lot of flackers. These are pretty big, like, you know, inch by inch sized crackers. So those are great for if you need help pooping or being regular. And then this is a staple. Don't mind the Jif. That's for my kids. I do the natural peanut butter for me. But this is a staple. This is basically any sauce or any recipe that I make using a marinara sauce. The Rao's is the way to go. It's delicious and very, very very clean ingredients. So you can pretty much get this anywhere now as well. So, and then let's go over here. We have some on the go monk fruit. We have the powdered stevia. And then if you are not very good at baking, you can get Swerve keto sweets and baked goods. So these are basically like baking mixes that are already done. So that's the two I keep on hand. And then this way you can make baked goods that there's no guesswork. You just follow the directions. And then I do use yeast for my keto bread recipes as a flavoring, more like a seasoning, versus it's not going to do anything because there's no sugar in it, but it does still provide flavor. So let me see if I've forgotten anything else. As for appliances, we've got the waffle maker, the mini dash for chaffles, food processor for processing, or shredding your own cheese, ice cream maker to make ice cream, which I'm going to go out to the freezer and show you my favorite new way to make ice cream. And then I have a big tea section up here because I love teas, and I highly urge you to start using teas. And then let's see, am I missing anything else? I think I've hit everything in the pantry. And now let's go to the fridge. Okay, a quick little detour for immunity health. Obviously, apple cider vinegar, what I've spoke about before, and green tea. But that doesn't help you if you're sick now. So I do make pots of elderberry tea. This is sugar-free in a great way to get elderberry in without the sugar. So, and kid approved. So right now I have a sick kid and she's been sipping on elderberry tea. I do add honey into hers, but for me or somebody, if we catch it, I would just sip on elderberry tea for prevention and also to help slow down or speed up the recovery process when you get sick. And then there's not much you can take that's doesn't have sugar. So I like these two things and I keep them on hand for my kids because they're mostly the ones that get sick. I typically haven't been sick since I went keto, but I like to keep that on hand. So if they get sick, this is what I give them. So, and then let's move along to the cold stuff. Okay, so we're going to do a quick run through. We're going to start with Lakantos has some syrups. I'll put these in my afternoon coffee when I'm not fasting or when the days I'm not carnivore. I stick to the days I'm eating keto. These are great to just give your coffee a little, to make it taste like a Starbucks. So I have it in salted or caramel and vanilla. And I keep those on hand just so it's so much easier to make your own and have control of the sweetener than to go to Starbucks and hope that they don't put the classic syrup or all the other crap in there. As for barbecue sauce, we use G. Hughes. You can find it at Walmart. I've recently been making my own mayo, so this is probably going to have to go away, but it was my favorite. I'm a mayo girl. But avocado, I've been making my own lately, and I'm trying to get used to it. But yellow mustard is a great way to get flavor without adding any calories or anything like that. It's made with vinegar. And then sriracha sauce is a great topping to just give some eggs or something a little kick. And let's see. When I make stir fries and stuff, I use coconut aminos. This replaces soy sauce because I don't eat soy anymore either. So if I'm making some type of a stir fry, this is my soy sauce replacement and it tastes exactly the same. Obviously butter, we're not going to go through that. These are great yogurts that I give my kids. They're low in sugar and you can still give them yogurt without feeling like you're giving them a whole tub of sugar. So mine like the blueberry and the vanilla flavor. Parmesan cheese is your best bet for the least amount of A2. The more aged a cheese is, the better for you it is. So always get the Parmesan. If you're going to do cheese, Parmesan's the winner. And then these are what we do for breakfast and lunch. This is a great brand. They are Whole30 approved, which pretty much means they are fine on keto as well. So I get the breakfast sausage links and I will cook those up for my family. There's no sugar and they are delicious. Obviously eggs, we're not going to go through this self-explanatory stuff, but heavy whipping cream is my new cream. I don't use any other cream anymore. This is what we use. So heavy whipping cream goes in everything. And it's also, I consider it more a fat than a dairy. So yes, replace your cream with heavy whipping cream. Okay, and the rest of the stuff is pretty self-explanatory. It's like vegetables, green vegetables, and then other just basics. So I wanted to just hit those quick ones that you might want to stock up in your pantry for the new year. It's all about planning and preparing your meals for the new year. Have this stuff already on hand, make a plan, and stick to it. So if you go through your pantry and get rid of all that processed temptation and junk that's in there and replace it with easy swaps like I've just shown you, you are going to be well on your way. So removing that temptation is going to out of sight, out of mind you. So, and it's easy to do. So, I highly urge you to just, at the minimum, make small changes. Swap your sugar. Swap the regular table sugar and get Lakanto's sweetener or Swerve sweetener or stevia. That's my top 3 for those. And then remove the flour and just replace it with almond flour and coconut flour. And you can always build onto that, but those are something you need right away and have on hand, because a lot of recipes you can make keto by having these things on hand. Easy 1-for-1 swaps. So yeah, I hope you enjoyed this video. I'm going to make a more detailed video on how to track macros and all that other stuff, but I wanted you to have some ideas to have on in your pantry, in your home, to get started on your keto journey. So if you like this video, please give me a thumbs up and I'll see you at the next video. I'm Jess and you're watching Keto Rewind.